Hello everyone, this is Grognar bringing you a mod review on the Exotic Birds mod. And I've been gone for a while, but I mean, mod reviews are pretty fun. I'm probably not the best at them. I probably say too much, but this guy right here, he seemed to like it. So I mean, just because that one guy's opinion, it kind of made a little bit of a difference to me. I like this guy. He's cool. But anyway, on to the review. So this is the Exotic Birds mod. And if you notice a lot of jump cuts, or even bad mic quality, actually, goodness. If you notice a lot of jump cuts throughout the video, it's me looking at my notes on this piece of paper that I got about the animal that I'm reading, that I got directly off of the mod page that I actually got this mod from. And there is a couple things in it that are a little off or just don't work. And I will come across those whenever we get to them. And that chest right there is basically some of the stuff that just wasn't on the mod page. So here is the cassowary. They live in their habitat is in the forest, birch forest, taiga, and savanna. So it's pretty much the same exact theme across all these. I have two signs. One is the name of them and their habitat, and then accompanied by it is their temptations and stuff, the things that they follow you. Does not mean they can, do not get this confused with they can be tamed with these things. They only follow you, and then I have underneath that they can be bred. Yes, this one can be bred. So here's this egg. Now this is just the spawn egg, not the actual egg. As you can see there, they do lay eggs, and that is what the cassowary's egg does look like. I don't know why it's green. It's probably green in real life, but that's none of my business. That's just the cassowary's business. And here is the duck. And they are in rivers and beaches, and they're tempted by bread, and they can be bred. So that is good. I like these things. And one thing I forgot to mention, I completely forgot to read the notes. For the cassowary, it is like a wolf or a polar bear. As far as I know, those are the only two mobs in the game, along with this one now, if you get this mod, that are passive until you hurt them, or if you hurt their young. I think on the mod page it said like they're very protective. So if you hurt their young, I don't know if I think you can go near their young and you'll be fine. But as long as you don't hurt them or their young, you'll be fine. It's common sense. So the duck's offspring is they're ducklings, obviously. And they are yellow, so you won't know until they are a drake or a duck until they grow up. And I think this one in particular is a duck. I'm not really sure about ducks and stuff, but there's also a drake. And I'll just go ahead and show that off real quick. Duck, drake, or whatever the fuck that is. And its offspring, they are yellow. So, I mean, you won't know. Like, this guy will either turn into this one or this one whenever it grows up. I think you can even give bread to the babies to make them grow up a little bit quicker, kind of like horses, but not exactly the same way. Alright, and there is a flamingo. So its habitat is not really known. It can be pretty much found where water is. And its temptation is wheat seeds, and it can be bred. And it's pretty interesting. I don't know what's up with that leg. Oh, wait. Oh, okay, I get it. It just looks weird from that angle, but you can see the foot right there. And this is the Golden Finch, I think. Its habitat is in the jungles, and it is tempted by wheat seeds, and it can indeed be bred. And I don't have anything in my notes for this guy. It's just cool. It's a nice little bird. I think it's got quite a few varieties. Like, a lot of these birds have more than just one variety, similar to the the duck. And these guys, I don't really know if they have anything different about them. These guys have multiple varieties. I think there's like male and female varieties, so that's a pretty cool detail. Now this is the hummingbird. There's nothing here because I had difficulty actually keeping it inside of a barrier block enclosure like this so it would match everything else, because every time it would go into the barrier block it would kill itself. But they can spawn in forest, birch forest, and roof forest, and they are tempted by sugar, and they cannot be bred. But yeah, see, they just die. They're fucking useless, and I am not a big fan of these things, but they're pretty cool. I don't know why they die from barrier blocks, but I mean, they drop feathers, so that's pretty cool. Alright, and this is the kingfish, and before it drops it, you can notice that there is a fish in its mouth, and that is supposed to happen. They live around water and will occasionally swoop in water, retrieve a fish, and fly around with the fish in their mouth. Now, as you can see, yeah, see, it just disappeared. And as you can see, it's nowhere near water. But that's because it gives off the illusion the mod creator wanted. I'm assuming the mod creator wanted to give off the illusion that it goes into water, grabs a fish, and comes out with it. I just think it's really cool he added the fish in their mouth in general. And I mean, but it just gives off the illusion because it'll just eventually, it teleports into its mouth. But they live by beaches, rivers, and swampland and cannot be bred. Now, there's a few of them that cannot be bred, and I'm assuming that's because they just are decoration. They're cool. They're cool to look at and stuff. Kind of like a hummingbird. Like, it only dropped feathers. It didn't drop anything. And we're going to get to the thing that most of the birds in this mod drop, and it's really nice. So, and then this is the kiwi. I love kiwis in real life, and I don't know, I just love kiwis. And I don't know, who doesn't love kiwis? So there's their egg, everything like that. So they can spawn in jungles and forests, and they can be tempted by wheat seeds, and they can be bred. I wish they could be tamed, but they cannot. Alright, and then this is the lyrebird. Its habitat is... beats me. Let me see. Yeah, screw jump cuts, man. I'm just gonna read straight off my page. So lyrebirds are pretty cool. They are basically a mockingbird. They mimic sheep, cows, and pigs during the day, and they mimic zombies, skeletons, and creepers during the night. And the males have orange tails or orange feathers on their tails, and females do not. So as you can see here, this is a female because it does not have the orange tip on their tail. And but yes, they do not have a set habitat. I don't really know where they spawn. There isn't really like anything that tells you where they spawn, but they exist and they're kind of cool. And here is the magpie. I like this bird. As you can see, it's holding an iron ingot in its mouth. They scavenge. And by scavenge, okay, so they scavenge for items, and the item in their mouth can be retrieved by hitting them, or you can, but if you do that, it will take them a while, and you can see it just disappeared because it just does that. It's kind of like the kingfisher, how it holds stuff in their mouth, and it just disappears. You can get the item by hitting them, but it will take them a long time to find an item again, or you could just swap it out of their mouth with seeds, and they can be bred, and they can be found in forest, birch/roofed forest, and taiga. And I kind of had to fit all that in there because the signs in this game are not big enough. And here is the ostrich. So their habitat is the desert, and they are tempted by apples, and they can be bred. And they are pretty tall. They're technically 3 blocks tall. That's why this one is extra high. And they're pretty cool. Now this is one of my favorite animals in this because I want owls so freaking bad in vanilla Minecraft, but this mod will just have to do. So they can be found in forests and swamps, and they are attracted by rotten flesh, and they can be bred. And what I got down here is they normally appear alone, so you won't find them in herds or whatever you would call multiple birds. And they will fly away if attacked, and their eyes glow in the dark. Now, I don't really have much proof of this. Well, I mean, you can kind of see that their eyes are a little bit more prominent during the night, I guess. But not so much so that it's like super bright. Like if I were to look into the trees, I wouldn't be able to notice one right away. And here's the parrot. Now I have the default vanilla parrot for comparison. I personally love the default parrot even better. And here's why. So here's this one. Okay, I have my likes and dislikes about both of them. Well, I don't really I don't dislike either of them, but there's some things I like about the other that I like more. So here's the exotic birds mod. I don't know why I even forgot the name of the mod. They can be found in more habitats. Like this one can be found in the jungle, the forest, and birch forest, while the default parrot can only be found in the jungle. But this one has 4 varieties, so like 4 different colors, while the default one has 5 different varieties. And this one can be tempted by wheat seeds, and they can be bred, yes. And it's the same thing over here, but I think this one could be tamed by any kind of seed, and they can be bred, so that's pretty nice. Alright, and here's the peafowl. Now, this one's kind of interesting. Oh, shoot, I forgot to mention. This one, its health increases when it gets tamed, and it's, I don't know, it's just basically exactly like the parrot in every other way. That's what I had written down on this piece of paper, but yes, its health goes from, I can't remember, from something to something. It gets higher. I think it jumps about 7 hearts, from like 3 all the way up to 10. Here's the peafowl. It is actually the first bird added to the mod, and it can be found wandering the world. Peacocks have big tail feathers, while peahens do not. And there is a rare albino peafowl, which I will actually show in just a moment. But yes, they can be found in the plains, jungle, forest, birch/roofed forest, and like before, I had to kind of cram a lot on this thing. They're attempted by wheat seeds and can be bred. So about that albino peafowl, I spawned a lot of them earlier. I actually had to kill a lot because my computer was lagging. The albino peafowl. This is it. It's called the elusive albino peafowl, and it's just this. It's pretty cool, actually. I mean, I think it's a really cool addition. Here's the pelican. Its habitat is beach and rivers, and it is tempted by fish, and it can be bred. Now, I do not have anything unique about this thing. It's just cool. On to the penguin. Okay, so as you could probably guess, its habitat is the cold taiga, and it is tempted by fish, and it can be bred, yes. And once again, nothing really interesting about it. It's just cool. They waddle, I think. Here's the pigeon. For some reason, it is classed as vermin in most biomes. I don't really know what that means. I don't know if that means like wolves will try to attack it or something will try to attack it. But basically, it spawns in forests and plains, so I guess it's a vermin in those, and it's attracted by wheat seeds, and it can be bred. Which I don't really understand this thing. I don't understand the whole vermin aspect about it, but it's cool. Here is the roadrunner. They can spawn in the desert, mesa, and savanna, and can be tempted by wheat seeds and can be bred. Now, it's exactly like the cartoon Wile E. Coyote. It just runs very fast. Obviously, you can't run because I have it closed in a 1x1 space. So it's just there to look pretty. And here's the seagull. Whenever I think of seagull, I think of that one video Circle Tunes HD made about seagulls. It's like rat with wings or some shit, or you'd have a tarantula with a gambling problem. Or you'd rather have that as a pet than a fucking seagull.
A seagull as a pet. Said no one ever? I'd rather have a tarantula with a gambling addiction as a pet than one of those flying trash rats.
Anyway, habitat. It lives in the beaches, rivers, and oceans, and it cannot be bred, so it's exactly like the kingfisher and hummingbird, where it doesn't really have a purpose, doesn't have a niche in this game. It's just there. Even though these things are useless, they basically just swoop around in circles and won't stop. So if you have it by the ocean or whatever, you'll just see them circling. So I mean, it's pretty cool. They got the kind of the gist of how a seagull thinks, I guess. And here is a swan. They can spawn in beaches, rivers, and oceans, tempted by wheat seeds, and they can be bred, yes. And there's not really much I have to say about these guys. You could find them swimming in rivers. That's pretty much it. And here is the toucan. They can spawn in jungles, savannas. They're tempted by wheat seeds, and they can be bred. And they're pretty cool. I feel like they have different varieties. Hold on, let me go check real quick. It looks like it. Hold on. Yeah, there's a couple different varieties. I don't have anything written down for these guys. They're just pretty cool to look at. This is the vulture. It flies in the sky in circles for prey. And that's pretty much it. I mean, I had to expand the thing. Like, by the time I was about to get done, this is the last one I had to put down. I was pretty much getting tired of this. I was just getting tired of building this. But yeah, you could find them in the desert and the mesa, and they are tempted by meat. Now, that's just what the mod page says. I don't know what it means by meat. I'm assuming that means cooked and raw meat, or just any kind of meat in general. And here's the woodpecker. Habitat, forest, birch forest, roof forest, and they cannot be bred. Now, as you can probably guess it from woodpecker, they at least attach to trees. The wiki says that they knock on the trees. I haven't personally seen that. I spawn a bunch of them in that forest over there, but all they do is really attach to the trees. I mean, they might knock on it, they might not. I'm not really sure. I haven't seen that. And like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, there is some weird parts about this mod. So here is the heron, the booby, the cardinal, the blue jay, the robin, the kookaburra, the crane, and the peafowl. Now, I don't know why I put the peafowl egg in there. I already did that one. But, okay, so just a quick run through. Here's the crane. That's pretty cool. I mean, you can make your guesses about where that one spawns. I think it's a little buggy right now. I don't know. That's my only guess. Oh, shoot. Okay, so kookaburra, it made that weird little noise. Like that noise. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Here's the robin. Blue jay. Cardinal. And I like the cardinal. This is a booby. See, they got these sprites pretty spot on, especially the owl. I love the owl. I love the kiwi too. And here is the heron, which, I mean, I'm not really seeing too much of a difference. Well, oh, I see a big difference. That one is still glitching out. But yeah, you guys are probably wondering what this is. You will not find out until the end. But now here we are to the more technical part of the mod. and it's just got all the recipes and stuff. So if you put anything in there, blah blah, raw bird meat. So pretty much every bird in this mod drops raw bird meat except hummingbirds. I'm guessing those are the only ones. I'm not really sure, but they all drop raw bird meat for the most part, and it makes cooked bird meat. Now don't ask me how much it heals and hunger. I guess you guys can just figure that one out. I mean, the wikis doesn't really give a lot of numbers, like number stats and stuff on different items. Now here is the item that I should have mentioned at the very beginning of the mod, but I saved it for this reason, because it goes with the other crafting recipes and stuff. So what you need is a peacock feather and a book, and it makes a bird encyclopedia. Now on the wiki, I think it's outdated because it's still called the Book of Birds, but since then I'm assuming like he just didn't like the name of Book of Birds, so he just called it Bird Encyclopedia. Now it will start off empty, but since I'm in creative mode, I'm assuming, or maybe just because I've spawned every single bird in the game, maybe, I don't know. But maybe because I'm in creative mode, all the birds are already unlocked. Now, it's really cool because once you unlock, okay, so you right click on a bird with this thing in survival mode, and it will automatically add to this thing, and it gives you XP. Now, I don't know how much XP, it doesn't say. All it says is it just gives you XP, which is really cool if you need to get that little extra XP. And considering there is a lot of birds in this mod, I think it's going to do you some good. For all that XP, and it's already alphabetized and stuff, and it tells you everything. So the cassowary, and it gives you like it's a whole bunch of stuff. So cassowary, and it gives you the scientific name for a cassowary, gives you like a real life description of them, and it tells you how many hearts they have. It tells you what they're tempted by, it tells you what they're bred by, and you can't tame them, so it's not applicable. And that's what their egg looks like. And you can turn the spin off, do not, whatever. You can slowly spin it this way, slowly spin it this way. I'm not really sure what these are. I guess the male and female don't really have a different look and stuff. But yeah, like this right here. So the duck, that's a female, that's a male. So that's pretty cool, and it has 4 hearts. Everything. I'm not going to go into detail on that stuff, but I mean, you could clearly see all the stuff. You can learn about everything. And another thing, if it has different varieties, you can actually see the different varieties. So there's a and they have their different names too. So if you see a woodpecker that's like that, that's a pileated woodpecker. If you see one like that, it's great spotted woodpecker. And if you see one like this, it's the Eurasian green woodpecker. Now I'm assuming to unlock these different variations, you have to find these kinds. So it's basically like a bird hunting, or a bird watching, or bird hunting kind of mod. So it gives you something extra to do. And so, I mean, yeah, you can see they're tempted by nothing, bred by nothing, tamed by nothing. They are an unstoppable force of woodpecking power. There is a search bar here too. So if you don't know the name of, or if you can't find it, then you can just type it. Now on to the next recipe. So this is probably going to be the part where I start stuttering a lot, because there's a lot to this mod. So here is, okay, so this is going to look weird. So this is a magpie egg and a blaze powder, and what it does is it still does that. So let me explain. So whenever you hover over an egg, like a natural egg, not a spawn egg, it has a chance of spawning 10%. Now, I guess that is when you throw the egg, it has a 10% chance of spawning, but if you do this, it makes it 30%. So every time you put a blaze powder on an egg, let's get rid of that. So anyway, whenever you do that right there with the blaze powder, it goes up by 20%, and you can only do this 2 times. And so 50% is the max chance of spawn. So since I'm in creative mode, I'm assuming now it's going to be every second, or it's gonna increase the chances of something spawning dramatically, like that. All right, so there's that. But now another thing, you cannot just make it 100%. Because every blaze powder you use, it just won't do it. So yeah, so it can only go up to 50%, and I think that's really cool though. So you can increase the chance of something spawning. So now whenever you throw eggs like this, I don't know. Okay, there we go. So like this, these things are called eggshells, and basically it acts exactly like bone meal. Exactly like bone meal in every way. It's just another way to get it if you have too many eggs. Now I think you can do that with chicken eggs. I'm not entirely sure. I'm assuming you can because it is an egg. But yes, that's pretty cool. I like that. So now this is the egg sorter. So you craft it with 3 blocks of glass on top. So it's kind of like got a piston recipe kind of thing. Alright, so then it's got 4 iron ingots, 2 on the side, 1 empty bucket in the middle, and 1 redstone dust at the very bottom, and it makes 1 egg sorter. And this is what it looks like on the inside. Now the whole point of it is, let me just show you right here, whenever you search nests in the world, they are going to be on top of trees and stuff. Now I was going to get to this part right over there, but this part is kind of important. So you can find unidentified eggs in these things. So let's just go ahead and pull out quite a few unidentified eggs, and I will explain why. Whenever you put them into the egg sorter, you cannot shift click things, this little animation will start happening, and whenever you put a redstone dust, it will start to research it. Now it has a chance to fail and it has a chance to succeed. So let's see. Okay, so it will either give you bone, or it'll either give you eggshells for some reason. It will either give you eggshells, or I'm assuming it will give you an egg. So yes, right here. So the kookaburra egg, and it even increases your chance of, or the chance of spawning by 70%. So that's pretty helpful. And this is a vulture egg, so now 75%, which I don't think is it's naturally possible. And but yes, and more eggshells. So it will just pump stuff out, and it's really cool. Oh yeah, shit, I don't even know why I went over there for the unidentified egg. Had a chest right there. And now here are the nests. Now this is, now on the mod page, it is the most important part of the mod, pretty much. It's the biggest part of it. So here's the nest. You craft it with 3 sticks, and you can put it on top of trees and stuff. And you will find unidentified eggs in nests, and that is why you got to make that thing right there. I wish my frames would quit dropping. And now I've noticed something. If you put down an empty nest, unidentified eggs will just kind of teleport into it, and I don't know why, but I think that's pretty cool. So I guess just random birds just come down, drop their egg in there, and then they fly away. So then I just have this as a thing. I mean, I'm not really sure what the point of nests are. I've had these in here for forever. So I'm assuming the whole point of nests is you're supposed to find them, and then you're supposed to hatch them yourself by just, I guess, throwing them. I mean, I don't think birds will just hatch out of these things. I don't know, not entirely sure, but yes, I think they can also have the chance. Maybe I just haven't given enough time to hatch. So let's go back over here, and had a weird little hiccup there, but now so I'm going in order of the mod page. So now here is the part where we have to sadly slay cassowary. I think I used the wrong fucking animal. Hold on. Okay, so this is the part of the mod where I gotta show you where to get a peacock feather. I don't know why I thought a cassowary was gonna do it, but oh well. So as you can see there, it drops raw bird meat, and it drops peacock feathers, and that is to make that thing right there. Now, this is the sad part of the mod. Another sad part where I cannot, I don't know how to craft this thing. I haven't figured out the crafting recipe because it's not on the wiki. And I've already tried a few patterns, and I mean, maybe it's this thing with a certain item that I will get to eventually. And it's coming pretty soon. So it's really cool. I mean, I figured out how the thing works itself. Like, I spawned it, and basically you put eggs in here, and you see they're all 10% right now. Now we're just gonna wait for this thing to cook them up. All right, and it's almost done. And it takes 1 blaze powder to increase every egg in this incubator by 5%. Now, I think it can go, I tried this earlier, this is the only reason I know this. I believe it can go all the way up to 100% if you let it just keep cooking. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I don't know how to make it. I'm sorry, I mean, I could try later on to see if I can figure it out. I don't have too many items. Oops. Well, saw a few items there that I didn't really have planned until later, but as you can see, yeah, it just goes up by 5%. It's pretty cool. So it goes up all the way up to 100%, and all you need is just a blaze powder. And now let's get to the cool part of the mod. Now for this, we're gonna have to go all the way down to the depths of hell to find this other creature. And behold the mighty phoenix. Now, this is the coolest fucking part of the mod. I mean, maybe not the coolest, all to their own, but I love this part, and I mean, I even made a whole decoration and everything for it. So this is the phoenix. Now, there's quite a few things to say about this thing. It gets hurt in water. I found that out the hard way. I found that out just playing around with it. So it can be hurt by water. That is its spawn egg and everything. And I'm sure you guys can already guess what's going on with that saddle. Now, upon death, let's just get in here, kill it real quick. Now, it does have 100 hearts of health, so it is pretty hard to kill. And these things do not, in fact, spawn naturally. But now, there is a way to get it in survival mode, or find these things in survival mode. Now, as you can see, it drops kind of a random amount, anywhere from like probably 10 to 14 maybe phoenix dust, and a few phoenix feathers. Now, the phoenix feathers don't have a use yet. That's just because of what the mod said, or the mod page said. But I'm assuming, since it's been updated a little bit, maybe this is a part of the recipe for the incubator. I mean, it makes sense that you cook the eggs and it makes them go up all at once. I mean, it just sounds more like an end game thing, so you can like get 100% chance on everything. But yes, you get phoenix feathers and phoenix dust. And now we're gonna go over there in just a moment. But before I do that, let me go ahead and show you guys. All right, let me just go ahead and fix that up. It's kind of bothering me. I'm going to put one back in there. I don't know why. But now, here is the cool part. Now, you can saddle up on these things. And I don't know. Okay, so whenever you hold down W, you can indeed fly with these things. And you can, well, that's how you fly forward. But to go up and down, it's simple. You just look up, you look down, you look left, you look right. And it's super cool. I don't even think it has like a fuel or anything. Now, I gotta see something, and hopefully I don't die from it. And L shift to dismount and everything. There's no way to take off the saddle, but I mean, of course, when you kill it, it will drop the saddle. Give me the saddle. Give it. Alright, so I got more powder and feathers and stuff. So now, I don't know if this thing will kill me, so let me go ahead and put some armor on real quick. Alright, I'm all geared up to fight a phoenix. Now, I don't know if it's going to even be hostile once I go into... Yeah, see, yeah, it's not hostile. And even whenever you can even beat the hell out of it in survival mode, and it won't fight back. Now, I kind of wish it did. I wish it was kind of like an epic boss fight or whatever. But I mean, it's not, but it is what it is. I mean, it's only a mod in the very end, but it's still a really cool mod. So if you get a hold of yourself one of these phoenix eggs, and now let me just go ahead and explain how you can get your hands on one of these things. So you can, okay, so it's not very complicated to explain. I'm just dumb. So to even get a phoenix egg, okay, to find a phoenix in the first place, you need to find a phoenix egg. Now, it is a rare chance to find them in a dungeon. Oh, I forgot to mention the phoenix dust. You can also find that in mine shafts, and it is also dropped upon the phoenix. So you can find them. It's a rare item in abandoned mine shafts. And but now the phoenix egg, you can find that itself, and it's a rare dungeon item, and it's extremely rarely found in nests. And you can craft it with a chicken egg in the middle. Oops. A chicken egg in the middle and 8 of these phoenix dusts around. So it's probably not the hardest, now that I think about it, to get one of these things. The hard part is just finding the dust and then the chicken egg, which is fairly easy. Now, the phoenix egg, the way you just hatch it, I mean, you need a light level of 9 to 11. And whenever you'll know you have the right amount of light level whenever you see these flaming particles. Now, I don't know how long it takes for these things to hatch. I hope it hatches in the first place. I might have to do a little experiment. But once it hatches, I think it'll be exactly like that. I don't think they have a baby sprite. And my reason for even thinking that in the first place is whenever you right-click on it with a spawn egg, it doesn't spawn one. Now, a cool thing is, I mean, a cool thing I guess, I mean, since it's constantly flapping its wings, it just glides down. So, I mean, that's pretty cool. So, I mean, I don't know if you can, like, use this to your advantage, like, falling and then, yeah, you can. Okay, that's pretty cool. While you're falling, I suppose if you would ever run into the situation, whenever you're falling and you have a saddle in here, you could just, like, spam right-click on them and bam. You can just get a quick ride out of there, and it's pretty cool. But now I just want to see something real quick. I wonder if it can be hurt by lava. Now I'm assuming it can't because it's a fucking phoenix, and it'd be pretty cool if you could find these things spawning in the Nether, but you cannot find them anywhere. Oh, well, that's a shocker, actually. They can indeed die, or, well, they can take damage from lava. That is very surprising. They can take damage from not only water, but also lava, the thing that you would think that they would thrive well in. You just let this thing sit here, I don't know for how long. Now, another cool thing right before I end this mod review, there is its own achievements. So it's called Wonderfowl. So I mean, there's Nether achievements and stuff, adventure achievements, Minecraft achievements, just linear like that, and Wonderfowl. So it's got its own achievement set. Now I already have these ones because I placed down. So you gotta, I don't know, just do these things. I mean, it's pretty cool. It's got just about the same amount of achievements as the Nether. So I mean, that's something. And I mean, that's pretty much all I gotta say for this mod. I know it was really awkward in a lot of it, but I mean, I haven't done a mod review. Last one I did was Tough as Nails, and even I was kind of awkward in that. But I mean, I like doing mods that I enjoy. I don't like doing mods that is the first thing on the featured page on a mod site. You know, I don't like being the sheep. And I know these are just Minecraft mods, and it's cringy to think of someone even saying that, but you gotta understand, I like to do what I like to do. That's why I haven't been uploading. Now I like doing mod reviews, but because of what that one guy said at the beginning of the video, like I mentioned, that guy he kind of did a little bit. I think about him a little. I think about him whenever I think of YouTube, and but yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say. Thank you for watching, and just a quick little 30-second tutorial like my other mod reviews. I don't have one. I forgot. All you need is Minecraft Forge. Just download Minecraft Forge, and just drag and download this mod. I'm gonna leave every single link, even Optifine, in the description, so you guys can download it for yourself and play with everything. And if you guys can actually figure out how to make that incubator, I would be greatly appreciative if you could tell me, so maybe I could even play this in survival mode someday whenever I get bored. So that's pretty much it. This has been the Exotic Birds mod, or the Exotic Birds mod for 1.12.2, and I don't know if I'll even do any 1.13 mods. I mean, it is a little too late considering by the time I upload this, 1.13 has already been out for a good maybe couple weeks. But I mean, still some people like to play 1.12. But anyway, this has been the Exotic Birds mod showcase, and I'll talk to you guys next time. See ya.